In this video, it's an Alabama rut. You don't get to see this very often in Alabama, or at least I don't. Sometimes you're in the hot seat, see a lot of deer activity. Most of the time, the rut here in Alabama is so screwed up and spread out that you don't actually get to see all the event happen. I'm set up for a side of a ridge where I've seen a lot of bucks cruising for does. There's a scrape this doe's checking out right now, and when she squats in it, that kind of just set me on fire. I'm like, alright, maybe I'll get some action this morning out of this doe or other does in here. They're all headed to their bed area right now. These fawns are still with the doe, the mama, so usually when they're in heat they will separate themselves from the fawn. So all these thoughts are going through my mind right now. Is that doe in heat, or is she about to come in heat? What part of the rut am I looking at? I see several other does working their way up the hill toward the bed areas, and I've got a lot of deer activity going on, so I'm in a pretty good position, enjoying the morning if nothing else. Now this is a pretty nice buck right here, cruising the very top of that ridge, and I'm going to try to call to him and see if I can't get his attention. Now, I've called to him a few times and I don't think he's heard me yet, so I may have to get a little more aggressive with my call. I believe he heard me right there, but I still don't think he's got a direction on me. He stopped. You can look at his, kind of turned his head that direction slightly. Still ain't quite looking at me yet. He's licking his nose, trying to see if he can smell the deer he thinks he hears. Doing a lip curl, checking the wind out as best he can. And right then he looked directly at me, my direction. I don't need to grunt anymore after that. I know he heard the direction that grunt came from. He's got his ears pinned back my direction, still checking the wind. He's going to step over the little knob, see if he can't get a visual. At this point, you don't want to grunt to him no more. It's all on him. Either he's going to come check it out, or he's not. There's not a whole lot you can do about it at this point. You grunt too much at him, you're just going to booger it up. I've got his curiosity. He's studying the area, he's sniffing the air, he's looking my direction. If you pay attention to him, right here, he's looking at something on the other side of me. That convinced him that he wasn't interested. It kind of screwed my whole hunt up right there. And this is what he saw, this little buck coming up the other side of me. I'm like, where did you come from? He's licking his nose because he heard the grunt. He's trying to sniff around and see what's going on in the area, because all this buck activity tells me there's a doe somewhere that may be close to coming in heat, if not already in heat. And these bucks are cruising looking for a doe. Young ones, big ones. Hopefully the granddaddy will slip by here in a minute. Now the way this little buck come trotting in has really got my curiosity up. I kind of got excited by watching his actions, his body language, the way he's acting. There's definitely a bigger buck either tending a doe, chasing a doe. Something's going on, and he's nervous about it. Excited but nervous. He wants in on the action, but at the same time he don't want to get his butt whooped. You can just tell by the way he's looking everywhere, trotting, stopping. He don't want to end up in the wrong place. Yeah, there's something going on for sure. I see this doe come easing through. I'm thinking, oh, let you be the one. Where's the buck? Should be a buck following you. After a while, I realize she's not the one. So I don't want to spook her. I want her to get on out of here. She's kind of breathing hard though, like she's been chased. But her body language isn't quite what I would expect from a doe in heat. And at this point, with as many bucks around, something should be with her. She's too relaxed. Out of nowhere, I see a doe right dead under the tree. I'm like, where did you come from? Boy, during a rut, deer come from every direction. They ain't got no pattern at all on them. It can be exciting if you're in the right place. What I think is happening right here is these does were probably pushed out of their bed area. They're not necessarily the ones in heat, and they're just trying to ease their way back into their bed area. Of course, get a little turkey action going on behind me. Had to get that on film. My buddy's a big turkey hunter, so he's always excited to know we got turkey in there. Now this buck here, he ain't got a giant rack on his head, but he is a mature buck. And I'm going to try to get an arrow in this deer if he gives me an opportunity. It's later in the morning, on up in the day. I think this buck's probably headed back to his bed area. One look at him tells me he's a mature buck. folks in Alabama have a different perspective of what a mature buck is. When you see one this size in Alabama, you can pretty much guarantee he's a mature buck. It's going to get a little shaky here when I draw my bow back. My camera's mounted on the bow itself. Fixing to take a shot right now.
This thing zoomed out here a little bit. Well, I just shot me a pretty nice buck. I'm not real sure about the hit though. The arrow was sticking in the deer. It looked like I hit him in the front shoulder, the best I can tell. And he ran up the hill and stopped and snorted several times. So that's not a good indicator of a good kill shot. I've not ever had a buck or a deer start snorting at me after I shoot them. So I've sat in the stand 2 hours. I'm going to get down really slow and easy, work my way over there, look for blood, see what kind of blood I've got. I heard a crash. My bow's hanging on a limb. I hope it don't fall off. I'm trying to get steady here. Anyway, I did hear a crash. My setup's pretty good though. I've got northeast wind, so I sat on the back side of this ridge that I've been hunting. I've seen several bucks go up and down this ridge. Hopefully this will turn out real good and I'll have a nice deer to take home. I hate wounding a deer, but from where I was sitting, the shot looked good. I did hear a crash, but it was a long time after the shot. That's my story. Hopefully I can show y'all a deer here in just a minute. Bye. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. I do have pretty decent blood on my arrow, especially on the fletch there. It's been about 3 hours. I'm coming down looking for blood. I'm about 30 yards from where I shot the deer before I found any blood, and I found my arrow. I wasn't really sure which trail he took going up this hill. It's real thick in here, but I'm on blood now. Wish me luck. Well, I'd like to give you some good news and tell you that I found that really big buck I shot, but I can't. I've looked, I've walked. It's 2 o'clock in the evening. I've walked every trail out there where I thought I heard the crash. Apparently it wasn't a crash. Didn't see anything there. I've been looking for a deer laying on the ground. I've looked for blood. I found blood. I lost blood pretty quick after the arrow fell out of the deer. Never picked it back up. So I just methodically did a grid search on every buck trail I know out here, and the ones that weren't buck trails. I mean, I think I've walked every trail out here within a 200-yard radius anyway. I'm tired, I'm wore out. I really think I just shot the deer in the leg. I don't think I hurt the deer none, so I'm pretty confident that he'll survive. If there was blood out there, I would have found it. I've crawled on my knees, and I've done everything I know to do, except get a dog. And I'm afraid I don't think a dog would do any good. I called a friend of mine that's got a dog, but he won't answer the phone, so maybe I can come back in here and get another shot on this deer. I've definitely got a good handle on the way he travels, so get the wind right. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, maybe to wash all my scent out. I've got 2 weekends left. Who knows? Maybe I'll still get that deer.